keeping your head, hands, and feet inside the cars at all times. Eating and drinking is not permitted, but water from an enclosed water bottle is just fine. Sit back and enjoy your time here on the train. We're moving over to Smiths Creek Station at this time. We'll say goodbye to Ken and Mike, our station masters, helping everybody get on board the train safely. Over to our left is the Central Nile Plantation. Back in the day, it was 700 acres big. It comes to us from Tidewater, Maryland, built in 1860. Tobacco was its cash crop, and it was slaves that worked the plantation. When you do go and listen to a presenter tell the story about how the hardships that the slaves endured. Next to that is the Plimpton family home. That's the oldest American home here at the Greenfield Village. Mr. and Mrs. Plimpton raised 7 children in that single room home. Do step in and try to see how they managed. The Ferris windmill was built in 1650 from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. It's the oldest standing windmill in the United States, and it was a gift to Henry Ford. We also have the Daggett family farmhouse that was built in 1754 from Andover, Connecticut. When you do go inside, listen to our staff tell you what it was like to live during a time period and some information about their raised bed gardens.
See the horses?
To the left is our paddock that we have for our horses, the draft horses. They're the horses that are being used today because of the motor muster. And they had some visitors, some wild turkeys. Take a look. We saw 4 of them earlier. They seem to always bring guests with them. Henry Ford had a love for the railway, and back in 1970, the staff over at the Henry Ford Museum realized this, and they decided that they needed a perimeter railway around the Greenfield Village. This railway is 3 miles around, and it's using a standard gauge rail. We have 3 steam locomotives that we use here throughout the season to pull our trains. We also have a diesel electric. The locomotive pulling our train right now is called the Edison. It was built in the 1870s by the Manchester Locomotive Company. It had gone in disrepair. When Henry Ford found it, he had it completely restored and rebuilt. When he finished it in 1932, he called it Edison after his dear friend Thomas Edison. We also have a Henry Ford as he traveled around the country, built in 1897. And what we also have is the Torch Lake, built in 1873. That happens to be the oldest running steam locomotive in the country. And it will be out next month and pulling our passenger trains. We are now coming into our wildlife preserve. Kind of sit back, enjoy some of the sounds that a steam locomotive makes. Take a look and see if we can see any of our wildlife as we enter into the 11-acre big wildlife preserve. The steam locomotive runs on coal and water. Coal is fed into the firebox, and it's heated until real high temperatures. That high heat temperatures heats the water that's in the boiler. And when the boiler becomes so hot, it turns into steam. That is the steam that is going to move through the pistons, causing them to move, which causes the wheels to move. And that's how a locomotive moves our train. It sounds very simple, but it's more complex than that. Today, where you could go through 5 different decades of American culture, because cars did make Americana. Starting with the 30s, the Depression era cars. Then moving to the 40s, that is the World War II time. And the 50s, well, those cars were more of a futuristic look. The 60s, we were having a revolution here in our country, and then in the 70s, we were through the different decades and visiting with the people who own those cars. They're more than happy to tell you about them. What you just saw was a blowdown. The engineer expels some of the steam from the locomotive, hoping that the scaling comes out with it. It's just regular maintenance. Nothing is hurt by that action. We are now entering into a vintage historic. Sit down, please. Sit down, sir. Sir, sit down. Thank you. Stay seated. Don't get up. The Lottie-Dots are playing the Walker Tavern Wheels in a game of vintage historic baseball. Do we have a score? Who's winning? The Walker Tavern Wheelers are winning by 2. In front of us is the Henry Ford Academy High School. It was built in 1993. It's a charter school that specializes in the STEAM programs: science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Henry Ford always believed that learning to do is by doing. And that's what the students have a chance to do. They go into the museum or the village to see firsthand what they saw or learned in the classroom. 10th through 12th graders have classes here. The 9th graders are over at the museum. In the vintage railroad cars up ahead, good, it's reserved for our privileged seniors who are graduating next week. To be a student here at the Henry Ford Academy High School, one must live in Wayne County, Michigan. Then it's the luck of the draw that your application is full so that you can attend high school here for 4 years tuition free. We also use the railroad cars here at the Greenfield Village for teacher conferences for teachers that live in southeast Michigan. It's a time for our staff to let them know how they could use the village and the museum in their classrooms. The Henry Ford Museum of Innovation is a nonprofit educational institution. It does not get support from the Ford Foundation or from Ford Motor Company. Instead, it relies on people like you, ticket sales. We are so glad that you came here today, not only to celebrate Father's Day and help us celebrate Motor Muster Weekend, but just being here. And we really hope, we are thankful for your support, and we really hope that you're enjoying your day. Detroit, then it moves on to Dearborn, Michigan, then Ann Arbor, and Chicago. Over to your left and up the hill is a continuation of our Main Street district. You can see the chapel that Henry Ford built in honor of his mother-in-law, Martha Bryant, and his mother, Mary Ford. Next to that is the Scott Settlement School where young Henry Ford attended. It was built in 1861. We have the Logan County Courthouse from Pottsville, Illinois, built in 1840. Young Abraham Lincoln practiced law. When you come into this area, you'll be able to enjoy the village greens. We've got the 1950s and 1960s automobiles here. If you're looking for something to eat, you'll want to go to the Taste of History restaurant right here. It's open till 8 o'clock today, serving fresh food. The recipes come from our historic farmhouses. Next to that is the Eagle Tavern restaurant. When you walk into the doors, you step back into 1850. The wait staff and servers are dressed in that time period clothing, and they'll hand you a menu with food selections from that time. And if you are getting off here, I encourage you to take a ride on a Herschel Spillman Carousel. It is dressed up like 1970s era, that's the disco era, and they're playing music from ABBA. If you're an ABBA fan, you are sure to love that. As we come into the station, please remain seated. The engineer will set a brake and give us the sound of a single whistle, letting us know that it is safe to come off the train. You're going to exit to the left side here, and we'll say hello to Ginger. She's our station master.
cute this year. Look at that.
There's the army.
Yeah.
Cars over there. Look at
There's the army.
you see those cars over there, buddy?
It's safe